you saw the RICO happen with the whole YSL Young Thug situation, and then YFN Lucci.
That's state though.
Well, yeah, those were state RICOs.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, Diddy is being charged with RICO. He's like a one-man RICO. I've
Freako.
never heard of that before. A Freako. Yeah, shout out to
That's
Boosie.
what they call that.
Boosie started calling it that.
No disrespect though. I just seen Diddy's sons though. I wish their family the best, and you know, if he's innocent of all of that, I wish him the best too, because he's an icon.
I mean, me personally, I think he's going to beat it.
That's what's
I
up.
think he's going to beat it. In fact, well, here's the thing, right? So I spoke to a lawyer that's close to this case. He asked not to be mentioned. But what he said was...
Tony Busby?
No, not Tony Busby. I don't know Tony Busby. You almost got to know Tony Busby early in this interview.
We're going to fuck Tony Busby up.
But a lawyer that's close to this case, who at one point was being asked to join the case, and he turned it down. He said that the Diddy case is 100% beatable, but they should have pushed it back like a year to really get all their ducks in a row, because it takes a long time to really get your defense ready, do all the investigation on all the potential witnesses and everything else like that, you know, to get people on your side. But from what he said was that Diddy was itching so badly to get a fast trial. Because remember how he kept trying to like get out? You know, he had like 3 bail hearings in a row, all of which got turned down. This trial is in like 2 weeks. And now, like Brian Steele just joined, you know, that was Young Thug's lawyer. Now they try to push it back 2 months, like he said they should, but the judge said, no, it's too late for that. So it's going to trial in 2 weeks. So if he loses, it's because he tried to speed things along too quickly. But then again, when you have someone like a Diddy, who's a billionaire, who's used to flying private, on yachts, beautiful women, parties, you throw him in a dirty jail cell, he's going to start to panic.
Right.
I mean, do you think he's going to beat it?
Everything is God, Vlad. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of God, you talked about a situation with a gun that you felt that God saved you from. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I talked about a divine intervention situation. I feel like I've had divine intervention a few times in my life where God has saved me from things. And yeah, it was a situation where God didn't intend for something to happen. And this is way long ago, because me and the word guns and crimes, I'm completely a legal, law-abiding citizen, a corporate person. I do charities, and all of this is like way in the past. And, you know, I was just more a at-risk kid, as they call them. But yeah, no, God saved me from that incident and a lot of incidents.
Well, I guess the incident was a fight broke out and you had a gun in your pocket. No, that's not how it went?
Yeah, I don't really want to rehash it, because they be trying to play with me on the internet like, you know, they try to play with me on the internet like, you can't talk godly instances with people that's ungodly. Like, where you at with God?
Pretty much an atheist.
What makes you an atheist?
There's
no higher power. You don't feel...
I'll say it like this, right? I think when I interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson, the scientist, I think he, you know, presented it in a way that kind of connected with me. And that is, as a scientist and as an astrologist, when he looks at the universe and he sees all the factors of the world and the universe and other planets and so forth in space, there doesn't seem to be an intelligent force behind anything that happens. It's all essentially random. There's nothing that he could find that shows that something is somehow guiding things a certain type of way. That's cool.
Bro, that's...
Yeah, y'all could, you know?
I'm not gonna lie, that's the dumbest... Neil deGrasse's the smartest, dumbest human on the planet, bro.
Okay.
How are we here, Vlad? This is all God. Everything is energy and frequency.
Okay. So
everything
everything comes from
God.
Part of it?
Where did evolution start from?
It started from single cell organisms.
Where does single cell organisms start from?
It started from bacteria.
Where did that start from?
The Big Bang.
Where did that start from?
The Big Bang.
Where did that start from?
Okay.
What the fuck is the Big Bang? That's the big God.
Okay. So you think there is a God for sure?
I know there's a God.
So you think there's a heaven?
I don't know about heaven and hell. I know there's a God actively working in my life.
Okay.
In your life, in his life, in his life, in this room, all around.
Okay.
100,000%.
All right, so let's talk about this.
And God is with you. You just don't know.
Okay. Okay. So
what you believe in? You believe in karma?
I do believe in karma. Yeah. I think that every action has a reaction. And I think with karma...
That's God that you're believing in, though.
No, I think that if you do something, it has repercussions.
Because what? Energy?
No, because of things that you do.
So...
Okay, I'll put it like this.
Check it out like this, right?
Okay,
so
if we
just talking about karma, like, let's say you walk out the door and you slap a 13-year-old girl for no reason. And then, 5 years later, you get hit in a car crash and get paralyzed or something, God forbid. Would you think that was karma?
No.
So then you don't believe in karma?
Well, I believe in karma when you can actually connect the dots. I think a lot of people call it karma because they don't know some of the things that are happening behind the scenes. Like, let's just say that you slapped a girl and for years she plotted against you and, that one day she cut your brakes and then you're driving and you hit the brakes and now you could say, oh, that's God that created that, but you don't know that girl actually cut your brakes because she's still mad at you over what happened before. That type of shit happens all the time.
That's God putting that in her mind. Everything is God.
God is putting that in your mind, or you slapping her is putting that in her mind?
Everything. Listen, there's a devilish energy on this planet, and there's a godly element on this planet. It depends which side you sway to. God runs this whole thing, but there's people that fall into dark forces. And I'm not saying atheists is better than being with the devil. See what I'm saying?
But isn't
do you believe in good karma? Like, what do you do that you feel is good for the world?
I take care of my family. I'm a good friend. I'm there for when my people need me. I think I put out positive messages.
You feel like your platform is positive?
Overall, yes. Yeah. People will focus on some of the stuff that isn't positive, but overall, I think it's very positive. I think I've told life stories of people that otherwise would never get to tell their stories. I feel that when people come in with conflict, I try to lower the conflict. I've tried to get people together that normally would be beefing with each other. I've gotten people together that were beefing with each other to be friends again. I've done a lot. I've put out stock information. I help people make millions of dollars just off of things I've told them that I never took any sort of money from. I think I've done a lot.
You feel like you're genuinely like a good human being?
Absolutely.
And do you feel like that has propelled, because you're a millionaire. You're a multi-millionaire
and I just
mogul.
want to say this, and my platform has influenced so many people, like the Adam 22s and the Sean Cottons and the Cam Capones and the Art of Dialogues that went on and looked to see what I did and ended up making millions of dollars in businesses that feed their families, none of which I ever benefited from. This is just, apart from us maybe doing interviews together and so forth, I've been supportive of all the new guys.
So do you feel like you reaped good karma from that?
Yeah, I think so.
Karma is God, then, Vlad.
Well, that's your definition of it, or that's my actions
you
having
saying
reaction.
Everything gotta have to have a direct thing. The girl that you slap gotta go cut your brakes 10 years later or whatever. It don't work like that.
Well, according to you, it doesn't. According to me, it does.
Okay.
We could both be right.
We agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree, and I respect. And listen, I have
God
lots of friends that are religious.
But I'm gonna tell you, God is still with you, and I think some of the things that you put out on your platform can be negative, just in the sense of just street shit, like interviewing just people involved in the streets and shit. That shit, I don't know, to me, because like I kind of grew up around certain shit, I'm not enamored or infatuated with none of that shit. I think it perpetuates dumb shit sometimes, and I feel like as your platform goes, it can get even more godly as it goes. And that's why I still came here, because you come from hip hop and doing great things in hip hop. So I love the hip hop side of your thing, and I think that's the godly side of your thing, for real.
Well, I mean, when you look at your own lyrics, though, you have gangster lyrics in what you do.
I have self-defense lyrics.
Okay.
I believe in that. I also believe that you could kill a devil.
Meaning?
If somebody's with the devil, I believe you could kill them because they have been enlisted by the devil and in self-defense. Understand what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily follow the Bible traditionally or the Quran traditionally. I just follow a higher power that lets me know if somebody's pure evil, because there's evil on the planet. You think there's evil on the planet? You just said the Boston Marathon bomber was evil.
I think that you could absolutely do evil things. 100%.
But you said the Boston Marathon bomber was evil, right?
I think evil is as evil does. If you have evil acts,
but what is that evil? That's the devil.
It's the devil, or it's...
All right, so we got you there. We got the devil.
You
say it's no God, but it's the devil. What's the next question?
What I was going to say was you could look at it as the devil, but you could also trace it back.
No, it's God. You're not going to Yeah.
That's cool. No, I'll keep debating it.
All right, so Vlad is no longer an atheist.
Hold on. How often
nothing of that.
when you see people that do really evil acts, how often when you look into their background do you see sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, horrible family life?
Yeah, it's like all coming from...
They were created to be this monster out of forces that they can control when they were children.
Yeah, the demonic...
being raped and so forth. And they turn into this person who is always angry. I know people around me...
Because the devil's on earth. Nah, go ahead. Keep talking.
Listen. I have people that were around me that just did really evil things to me. And when I looked at who they are, I realized they had so much trauma from their childhood that they refused to deal with. They wouldn't go to therapy. They wouldn't deal with it. They always thought it was someone else's fault. And these bad things, come from them, and they don't exactly realize why they do it, but there's an underlying anger and hatred and so forth. Like, you look at, like, for example, I don't know if you've been following all the Kanye drama, right? He recently said that he gave head to his little cousin. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.